First at 6, a labor dispute comes to an end today, but is it too late for an important project on the UW campus?
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free.
More than 100 people protesting outside a Wisconsin senator's office. We'll tell you why straight ahead.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Workers will be back on the job tomorrow following a labor dispute on the UW campus.
Earlier today, there was concern that construction on Whitty would not be completed by move-in day. Our Keely Arthur is live on campus and shares what happened. Keely?
Well, this afternoon, the decision was made very last minute, and it couldn't have come much later. Whitty is under construction, a lot happening inside still, and the kids are moving in on August 19th.
Let's go meet up. Meet up right there.
Just one last visit on the UW campus today before Jessica Gutcho officially becomes a Badger.
I finally registered for my classes, which is exciting because I'm really excited to finally move down here.
And right in to Whitty Hall.
It's like the heart of campus. I mean, celery and Whitty really doesn't get any better than that.
Like most freshmen, Jessica is ready for her new home, planning everything out from the perfect roommate to color scheme.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, like I made Pinterest boards.
But as she was thinking about the move-in process, plumbers had moved out.
It's at a very critical point right now.
This morning, we spoke with Julie Walsh, the executive director of the Madison Association of Plumbing Contractors. She says plumbers, local Union 75 members, went on strike for higher wages.
Our worry is that the students returning to school this fall will not have a place of residence because the work might not get done because those plumbers who were doing the work for our contractor were pulled off the project.
That worry resolved as late today, Walsh says the union and association have finally reached an agreement after 2 months of negotiating, putting students' concerns hopefully at ease.
It's so last minute, you know, you're already worried about classes and what you have to bring and everything else. I mean, you don't want to have to be worried about where you sleep at night.
Now, I spoke with the union and the association on the phone this afternoon. They say there is still a wage disagreement, but there will be workers here tomorrow morning at Whitty. Great news for those excited freshmen who just want to get into their dorms.
Keely Arthur reporting from the UW campus tonight. Thank you.
A person has died in Wisconsin of a disease that is considered very rare in these parts. The State Department of Health Services says the death is the first documented from Rocky Mountain spotted fever ever in Wisconsin. It is a tick-borne disease spread by a bite from a wood tick. The woman is from La Crosse County and was camping in western Wisconsin when she was bitten. It is the most common in the central and southeastern regions of the United States. City engineers helped find thousands of dollars worth of stolen jewelry in a Madison creek. This morning, crews recovered merchandise in Starkweather Creek that had been stolen from Bernie's Rock Shop earlier this year. The jewels and stolen goods worth more than $10,000 were found in a small bag under 4 feet of water and mud. City of Madison engineers partnered with the Burglary Crimes Unit to find those stolen goods. The suspect in the case has been arrested.
A West Dallas woman is accused of leaving her daughter in a hot car while she went fishing. 24-year-old Jessica Jorgensen made her first court appearance yesterday. The girl was found at a park in the early morning hours of June 30th by a passerby who heard her crying. According to the police report, the girl's mother was drunk and fishing with a friend nearby. Jorgensen is charged with felony child neglect. She is due back in court later this month. To weather now, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is here with our first alert forecast. Gary?
Charlotte, it's pretty comfortable out there. The humidity levels are down compared to yesterday, even though temperatures are still pretty warm. As we take a look at visible cloud track, a batch of clouds has moved in, but they're already thinning out to our north and west, and skies should actually clear out overnight. As far as rain is concerned, well, there were a couple of sprinkles up around Portage, and that was pretty much about it. Those are pretty much gone now. As we look at low temperatures this morning, they start out pretty mild in the upper 60s to around 70 through much of southern Wisconsin. High temperatures today in the mid to upper 80s, but it is a little cooler to our north and west now where the cloud cover is a little bit thicker. 76 in Viroqua, 78 right now in Camp Douglas. And here in Madison, we've dropped to 81. But with a dew point temperature of 61, the heat index is actually about the same as the temperature, just a degree above it, and it's even cooler out to the east. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will drop into the middle 60s. Look for sunny skies tomorrow. Our high temperature topping out in the middle 80s, but the humidity level still shouldn't be too bad. That's your First Alert forecast.
Thanks, Gary. Dozens of people want answers protesting today outside of Senator Ron Johnson's Madison office.
And they want to know why it's taking so long to reunite families on the country's southern border. 54 immigrant children will be reunited with their families today as a result of a court ruling by a federal judge. That's only about half of the 102 children under 5 years of age that the government was ordered to reunite by today's deadline.
Any parent can identify with not knowing where their kid is when you lose them in a grocery store. They don't know where the kids are. They don't know whose control they're under, who's diapering them, who's comforting them, who's feeding them. This is not the America we grew up in.
Senator Johnson was not at the Madison office today, but he has voiced frustration about the handling of the separated families. He says, quote, if they've got a process, they're not revealing the process to me. It boggles my mind. I just would assume that the connection in all these things are tracked and that the reunification would have been a relatively simple matter.
More Wisconsin school districts today are getting money for safety improvements. In our area, the Iowa Grant School District is getting $42,000. Bangor will receive around $40,000. Cassville will get $39,000, and St. Joseph's Catholic School in Fort Atkinson will receive $20,000. All of these grants stem from a bill that passed the state legislature last session. The Madison Common Council is set to take up a few important topics tonight. They will vote whether to approve a new design for the city's flag. The current design has a sun symbol in it, which has been criticized because it resembles a sacred emblem used by a New Mexico Native American tribe. A subcommittee approved a new but similar design last month.
City Council also set to vote on possible changes to Winnebago Street to try and better accommodate bicyclists. There's been an ongoing dispute whether to get rid of street parking to make a bike lane or to have both. We'll have an update on both tonight on News 3 at 10. And a scheduling note for the weekend with the art fair on the square. The farmers market will be moving location. According to a release, the market will be moving to Breese-Stevens Field for this weekend only. There will also be a change in hours. It'll be open 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Still to come tonight, a local woman is doing something good.
Turning her personal vehicle into a community bookmobile. Her story and how the idea started when we come back.
A Madison Foundation is making sure every child can afford to play sports. The Joan Hansen Foundation for Kids is named after a beloved physical education teacher who believed athletics were the key to a healthy lifestyle, physically and mentally. Even after she lost a battle with cancer, her family is continuing her legacy.
Well, she understood the importance of sports, the teamwork and the character building and all that, but she saw that not everybody had the same opportunities. So that's the heart of this foundation, is to provide for that.
The foundation awarded more than $50,000 in grants to organizations like the Boys and Girls Club and the YMCA, all to get kids involved. You can find out more about them at jhf4kids.org. Well, this next story is something that's sure to warm your heart. It highlights someone doing something good for others right out of her van.
A teacher in Baraboo let our Jamie Perez tag along with her this afternoon and gave her a peek inside the passion project she's been working on for years.
We all know the story of Clifford. You might have even heard of the Easter story, but I bet you've never heard the story of the mobile book van. Lots of kids engrossed in books, tale as old as time, right? Well, let's back up a bit to the beginning of how we even got here.
Sort of a labor of love, I guess?
A passion project, you could say, and this story started a few years ago after this compassionate teacher won a $3,000 award.
So I took about $1,000 of that $3,000 and bought probably 350, close to $400 books.
She took those books and did something for others, for kids. Those books each filled the hands of the little ones who were eager to learn.
A lot of people ask me why I do it. I have 3 kids. I have a full-time job. I'm also getting my master's. But when I see students and when I see children excited about reading, there's just nothing. There's nothing better.
The books are packed in the back of her van and unloaded at multiple stops every week.
Oh, these might be a little heavy. Why don't you try?
For Jory, there's nothing better than this.
Hi! Are you here for the bookmobile? Yeah, we've never been. Awesome! What?
Pages and pages absorbed by these young minds.
Well, I like a lot of books. I like reading and I'm getting books. Packed, you're not forgetting anything. What about the tent?
They say the best things in life are free.
Clifford's a good one. Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too, he'd like that one too.
We already have them. I'm the princess and the pauper.
While this started off her own dime, she now relies on donations, which she says is easier than you might think.
The Baraboo community is incredibly generous. And when I ask for books, people bring them.
So many books. It's hard to keep track, but just how many?
Oh, that's a really great question. Thousands of books.
Thousands. Do you know how many minds will expand, how many pages flipped, how many minds at work, and how many kids with a new free book in their hands?
My goal is to try to find every kid a book, and I think we were able to do that today, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. High five.
In Baraboo, Jamie Perez, WISC News 3.
And in order to keep up this act of kindness, as Jamie mentioned, Joy relies on donations.
If you would like to donate, you can like its Facebook page, that's Baraboo Mobile, and send a message for drop-off information or drop-off books at an elementary school in Baraboo.
And there's more to come tonight at 6. A downtown toy store that's been in business for nearly 2 decades is set to close.
And a day many boaters have been waiting for. The story when we come back.
In weather, we had a warm day today, but the humidity levels are down compared to yesterday. The humidity will creep back up, and so will the chances for thunderstorms toward the end of the week. I'll have our first look forecast in a few minutes.
After 18 years in business, Capitol Kids on the Square is set to close at the end of August. The owner wrote on the store's website that sales have been lagging for a while and they cannot afford expenses anymore. A going out of business sale started July 7th. Capitol Kids started in a small shop on Webster Street, but quickly outgrew that space and has been at its current location for the last 16 years.
Good news today for local boaters. It comes after 3 weeks of pretty slow going on lakes Monona, Wabisa, and Kaganza, thanks to all the rain and flooding we've seen. At noon today, the slow no wake signage was removed. They say lake levels are down about a foot from where they were when they peaked late last month. Slow no wake requirements were created to reduce shoreline erosion and protect low-lying areas from seeing flooding. The high water levels also make it dangerous for boaters.
We're hoping with the dry weather that lake levels keep declining and we approach our summer maximum target level.
Lake Kaganza was the highest in the area, exceeding 100-year levels. Officials say lakes Monona and Wabisa were close to hitting that too. Rock County has also lifted its no-wake order for the Rock River.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us now. Seems like we've had kind of a dry stretch of weather.
Yeah, even when it's been humid, we haven't had a lot of rain. It's just been spotty, and that'll be the case as we head toward the end of the week, but there will be some showers and thunderstorms around. In the short term, first of all, if you got some good weather pictures, now's the time to send them in while the weather is quiet. We're looking for pictures for our 2019 Wisconsin weather calendar. Send them horizontal and also as high resolution as possible to weathercalendar@WISC-TV.com. Don't forget to send us your name and your phone number and address so that we can contact you in the event that your picture is selected for the calendar. Now today we had some sunshine, but clouds came in during the afternoon. It's actually the remnants from a cluster of thunderstorms that tracked through parts of Minnesota and Iowa. That part of the storm actually fell apart sooner than the clouds up to the north, but even those are thinning out to the north and west, and skies have become mostly clear later on tonight. As far as precipitation, well, you gotta look really hard. There were a couple of sprinkles over toward Portage, maybe a tiny little sprinkle down toward, just south of, just to the west of Beloit. But if you get a couple of drops of rain, you're going to be the few that see anything at all. Doppler track across the rest of the upper Midwest, pretty quiet right now. Now, tomorrow there'll be some more thunderstorms develop in Minnesota and northwestern Iowa. There's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms there and a marginal risk in the rest of northwestern Wisconsin. That shifts to the south and east on Thursday. I think the better chances for severe weather will stay to our north and west. These storms probably won't reach us until later on Thursday night, and even then it's iffy whether or not they even hold together. But temperatures are definitely going to stay on the warm side. They'll be in the mid to upper 80s right through the weekend and into early next week. By Tuesday, I think we'll see a drop in the temperatures back to around 80, and the humidity levels will start to drop again. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Looks like the clouds are starting to thin out there. The WISC Skycam looking out toward the west shows mostly cloudy skies, a little peak of sun on the western horizon, and the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison looking toward the southeast, showing mostly cloudy skies. High temperature today, 86, the low 69. Since the clouds have moved in, temperatures have dropped off a bit. We're now at 81 with a northeasterly wind at 6 miles per hour, but the humidity is still at around 50%. In the Atlantic Ocean, just off the coast of the Carolinas, we have tropical storm, now Hurricane Chris, starting to make its move off toward the north and east as a Category 1 hurricane. Top winds right now 85 miles per hour, moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. But the forecast from the National Hurricane Center basically keeps it well off the U.S. coast, just sideswipes Newfoundland, and then eventually races it through the northern Atlantic Ocean so that it's close to or north of the British Isles and Ireland as we head into the latter part of the weekend. Across most of the country, most of the thunderstorm activity is either in the southwestern part of the country or down near the Gulf Coast. Up in the Midwest, things pretty quiet here other than that little batch of thunderstorms that actually formed just north of a warm front. And that front does divide much warmer air to our south and west. Temperatures mainly in the 90s on the other side of the warm front. We're in the 80s here, and dew point temperatures also climb up back into the lower 70s along and just south of that warm front. So as the front heads in our direction, the humidity levels and temperatures will come back up. 62 for the overnight low temperature. Partly cloudy skies this evening will clear out overnight. Tomorrow's high at 86 with mostly sunny skies. As we look at future tracking, see those clouds thinning out tonight. Low temperatures in the lower 60s. High temperatures tomorrow back in the middle 80s. Notice the winds becoming more southerly. Tomorrow night that moisture starts to come in. Low temperatures stay in the upper 60s. Thunderstorms stay well to our north, and then look for high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s on Thursday. Again, with more humidity, it'll feel pretty warm. 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures mid to upper 80s through the weekend. Thunderstorm chances probably highest Saturday, and then Monday. Cold front comes through on Monday, drops the humidity for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the heat and humidity start to creep up toward the end of next week.
All that talk about I believe in Jesus Aguilar, well, apparently it's working. The story's coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the news at 9, the man who posted a controversial video of the DeForest police chief is talking to us tonight. That's first on Fox at 9.
The World Cup semifinals begin today. The first team heading to the World Cup final is France, which won the World Cup as the host country back in tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Madison time. It's England and Croatia playing in Moscow. The winner of that game plays France in the World Cup final in Moscow, 10 a.m. Madison time on Sunday. Have already started their game in Miami tonight, and the push for voting Jesus Aguilar to the All-Star game seems to be working. Major League Baseball released the current standings for the final spot for the National League, and Aguilar is listed as the leader, with San Francisco's Brandon Belt second and the Dodgers' Max Muncy third. Fans can vote for the final spots on the National and American League teams on MLB.com or Brewers.com until tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Central Time. Longtime Badgers swimming coach Jack Pettinger died today at age 79. Pettinger coached swimming at the UW from 1969 to 1993. A memorial service for Jack Pettinger will be Saturday at Crest Funeral Home on Speedway Road, and no surprise, everyone's encouraged to wear shorts and sneakers to honor Jack Pettinger. The UW also announces distance runner Simon Byru has been elected to the UW Athletic Hall of Fame. Byru won the NCAA individual cross-country titles in 2004 and 2005, helping the Badgers to the national team championship in 2005. Byru now lives in Oregon State, I should say, and is working for Nike, looking for the next generation of elite track athletes. In September, Simon Byru will be inducted into the UW Athletic Hall of Fame. Tonight's the night for Madison mixed martial artist Alton Cunningham. He'll be fighting in Dana White's Tuesday Contender Series in Las Vegas, hoping to get a full-time contract with the UFC. Cunningham is 5-0 as a professional. He fights Bevon Lewis tonight. MMA fighters tend to cut 15 to 20 pounds and sometimes more to make weight for a fight. Cunningham made the 185-pound weight limit for tonight's fight, so with so much on the line, Cunningham was focused on making that number.
As you're getting older and as you're learning your body in this sport, you get more experience with it. You start experimenting with different ways. You got to take out the cakes, got to take out the wings and all the good stuff that you like. And so that can be mentally tough. But right now, I've done it so many times. I'm on point right now. My water is good. I'm feeling great. I feel fantastic right now.
And as the 17th overall pick in the NBA draft, Bucks rookie Donte DiVincenzo is on the verge of a pretty good payday. But until then, things are going to be a little squeaky. His Bucks teammate DJ Wilson Instagrammed a picture off DiVincenzo's phone showing that DiVincenzo has $2.68 in his checking account and $1.03 in his savings account, meaning right now Donte DiVincenzo has $3.71 to his name. But the good news is, breaking news, the Bucks just announced they signed DiVincenzo to a contract, so those bank totals are going up. Good thing you didn't go to local TV news, because 20 years, you still got about 371 in there.
Yeah, and
right?
the Jesus Aguilar, the voting. If you want to vote, you can still vote, right?
Oh, yeah, till 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, yeah.
A lot of Brewer fans.
We'll really vote often.
We'll talk about Ronaldo later.
Jay's a big fan. Gary's final check.
Well, things are pretty quiet out there. Temperatures right now generally in the lower 80s, upper 70s. And over the next 7 days, look for temperatures to stay in the mid to upper 80s, turning a little cooler for the start of next week as the humidity levels drop, but we warm back up toward the end of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. And thanks for joining us for News 3 at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.